You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It is January 8th, 2015, and it's another episode of the Impact Implosion right here on the AngryMarks Podcast Network. As always, I am Seth Draken, and on the other end is Mike Poland.
We are back.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
We're back, and surprisingly, we're doing a better show than WWE did.
Yes.
Back again. Implosion's back. Call a friend.
Better than ever?
All the lines of back. And hopefully Kane will not be around saying he's back.
It'd be like the 17th incarnation of Kane, but anyway.
Yep. Because there wasn't much news, honestly. Oh yeah, there was that, Mark Andrews won the British boot camp.
Yep.
So he'll be showing up soon.
Depending on if they're taping in Britain, probably whenever those are.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, they are taping in Britain to do Maximum Impact again. They always do that.
Yep.
Because, you know, those things actually make money.
Uh-huh. About only like 500 people in attendance for this show, apparently.
Yeah.
From what I saw.
Well, from the earlier, I didn't see much, but,
or from what was posted online.
Well, there was that one picture, of course. Mm-hmm. But that was way early in the show, before even the show began, so.
Speaking of the show, we start off with a big brawl with everybody.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, we start off with people getting ready for the show. Then all the faces and heels face off with Lashley and Rude in the front and center, and then Kenny King's like, wait.
I'm here.
I forget what he says, but he says something. Man, hell with this. Seek and destroy.
and then Sting comes out.
No, he doesn't.
Seek and destroy.
Sting is too busy waddling around in WWE to bother.
Getting ready to drop the Triple H at Mania, I'd wager.
Yep. Being a vigilante.
I wonder if Cole knows the meaning of that word.
I don't think anyone gets the meaning of that word.
Yep. Anyway, Kurt Angle comes out and tells security.
Yeah, everybody brawling, and Robbie E's in the building, so spoiler.
Hey, he decided to come. He's here.
Yeah, by the way, so he's beating up on Rockstar Spud. Crowd's chanting, "This is awesome." Kurt Angle comes out and yells for security.
And then backs him off for some reason.
Do you know where you are? This is New York City. This is the Manhattan Center. This is Impact Wrestling.
And everybody's going to defend their titles.
Yep, since you want this fight to continue, it's going to continue.
Low-key?
You're going to defend your title.
Where's Taryn Terrell?
You're going to defend your title. Where's Corbin Abyss? You're going to defend your title. And Rude, you're going to defend your title. Yep. You get a title shot. You get a title shot. You get a title shot. Everybody gets a title shot.
And then MVP comes in and cuts off Angle.
He's like, you go and explain your position as director of wrestling operation when you attacked me, and the crowd is chanting, shut the F up. Of course, Destination America's not good with this, so they basically mute all audio, which means you don't know half the time what the people are in the ring are saying.
Yeah, that's, gonna have to work on that, guys.
Also, another problem is there was red tint in one of the cameras during that brawl.
Yes.
So yeah, you had some, issues. And it's basically MVP speaking in Morse code with what way Destination America's working at it. MVP then references, you know, the whole chokehold thing and says, or the whole, turn your back on him and stuff. I'm gonna do what's popular here with the police. Turn your back. You, come on, attack me. And Kurt's like,
You know he's not going to.
Yeah, Kurt's like, wait, first he says, I remember, Kurt, when you knocked people out and made him tap out.
1996 Kurt Angle is different from 2014 Kurt Angle.
Right now, you are a suit and tie guy with no balls. You're a shadow man.
And Angle has a major announcement, and that announcement is, as of before the show went on the air, he is no longer the executive director.
Oh.
What?
But before 15 minutes before the show, he became an active wrestler. He got reactivated. And final match he wants to make is MVP versus Kurt Angle in a street fight. So, wait a minute. If he stepped down as the director of wrestling operations, how does he have control of the show?
He did it 15 minutes before he stepped down.
Oh, yeah. So, we got a street fight between MVP and Kurt Angle.
Where they didn't use any weapons, it looked like.
Oh, no. They didn't.
They just wrestled.
They just wrestled in street clothes. Which, what? Well, that's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
They can wrestle in street clothes. That is technically a street fight.
They just wrestled in their normal clothes.
Yep.
And Angle taps out MVP.
Yep. Although MVP did go for a nice submission move, the side choke, which is better. His side choke is better than the freaking side choke from Samuel Shaw, sadly. And it's not even a finisher for him. But he knows how to do it, which is on the damn ground. Do it on the ground, not holding the guy.
It's a choking hug.
Yeah. So Angle wins with the Angle Slam.
Yep.
Angle then taunts up the ramp as the crowd goes, "You still got it." And Kurt shakes hands with the crowd. And Clo Key is shown in the back. And then we see the Revolution, Taryn Terrell, and Bobby Roode. Because they're all preparing for their matches tonight.
Yep.
After a commercial break, MVP is backstage. He meets up with Kenny King and starts yelling at him. Why wasn't he out there? I was with the girls. Kurt had one leg. I thought you had him.
Yeah.
Seriously. By the way,
wrestled a match in 6 months.
By the way, I forgot to mention that Josh Matthews is replacing Mike Tenay.
A noticeable improvement in the announce booth.
Oh dear God, yeah. Him and Taz click better.
Yep. Oh, Matthews actually sounds like he wants to be there.
What? Matthews, yeah. Well, yeah, Matthews sounds, and Taz. I guess Taz is one of those guys who basically, absorbs what his, partner's doing.
Right.
And if he doesn't want to be there, he won't want to be there. If he wants to be there, he'll want to be there, so.
That's why him and Cole worked so good like 10 years ago.
Yeah. By the way, we saw Tyrus.
Hey, he's still employed.
And he's got a beard. He's got the Amish roadkill beard.
Oh, wait, that's later.
He's got the Amish roadkill beard.
Chicken.
So anyways, now MVP is looking for Lashley. And we see in the gorilla position John Gabarick and Al Snow sit there. And then we go to Tracy Steve honking his horn. And
why is he still employed?
EC3 and Tyrus, get him out of there.
Thank goodness. And EC3 says he's going to finish what he started with Spud.
Yep. Talks about New Year's resolution and how most people probably broke them. Fatties.
Damn you, EC3.
Someone's going to get a new hairdo tonight.
Yep.
And we find out Mike today's got a new show called Unlocked where he interviews people. And you know what? I think this is better for him.
Yeah.
He's better off as an interviewer, not a commentator.
Right, yeah.
Just so he talks with James Storm, and I said, didn't see you doing this, Storm. And he's like, I'm glad I fooled the professor. Why are you doing this? Man, it's management. I knocked it out of the park every time I did something, but they never lived up to their deal.
And you could also never win the big one. But anyway.
Yeah. Goes on to talk about Feast or Fired and how great James used that briefcase, and he says, he wants to talk about long term, and he says, I'm not going to talk about
Why would I tell you about that? Which is
why should I? I want blood. Do you believe in God? He should have warned you about me, and then whistles as he walks away. And then James Storm and Abyss come out because it's their title match.
And they're taking on the Wolves.
By the way, if you're wondering where Mahabali Shira is, if you haven't seen the YouTube, he's chained up somewhere, being called Koya.
I think I saw that on one of the TNA Greatest Moments specials, they showed that,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, they've been showing a few of those where he's trying to work with Storm, become a member of the Revolution. Because him and Manic worked so well together.
Yep.
So then we got a tag title match, and immediately the Hardys show up.
They're gonna watch the match. I wonder what could go wrong here.
Yep.
Not a bad little match either.
And yep, I did notice at this point the camera had a red tit on it.
Yep.
We had a commercial with a program that WGN America decided over, Impact, which was Wrestling with Death, which is about a wrestling Undertaker.
Not Mark Calloway.
No.
Or Paul, oh, never mind. I was gonna say Paul Bearer, but yeah.
Or like Paul Bearer, yeah.
Oh no!
They're outside wrestling, and you missed a moment, which is funny because they're outside working, and for some reason, Manic tries to kick one of them after they're gone. He tries to kick one of them as they're leaving, but they're not even close to him.
Yep.
So in the ring, James Storm is able to duck an Enziguri. Too bad Abyss was not as smart. Yeah, James Storm ducks the Enziguri. Abyss didn't.
I think it was a spot where one guy ducks and the other guy catches it. Oh.
That catches in the face. Yeah, that was the spot. Yeah, and the Wolves now have claw markings on them.
Yay!
We had a nice catapult into a DDT by the champs.
Yep.
Then we have all hell breaking loose once the referee goes down, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And because the other members of the Revolution attack, the Hardys come in, and I think Jeff tries to grab a cowbell from
Abyss's chain, actually, I think it was.
No, I think it was it was a rope with a cowbell. I remember it.
Oh, God.
You do a tug of war. Jeff wins, but he accidentally hits Eddie. So
Which will set up their
Storm
tag match next week.
James Storm then hits the last call super kick and gets the pin.
Wolves and the Hardys will meet next week on Impact.
Based on the spoilers, they didn't, so that should be interesting.
So it looks like the Hardys probably re-signed too.
Oh yeah, just not the Dudleys.
Yeah, I heard people saying Jeff Hardy didn't resign. He's going to be in a Rumble. I'm like, I didn't see that nowhere.
Yep. Hardys walk up the ramp and disappoint while the Revolution all celebrate, and the Wolves are pissed. So then we show EC3 with a camera, and he says, "Hey, cameraman, come hither. Follow me."
Come hither.
Yeah.
And then we go to the ring for Jeremy Borash.
Well, actually, we go to MVP in Lashley's room.
Oh, yes.
MVP is yelling at Lashley. Lashley has his back. Has his back to MVP, and he says, "I made you what you are. I cared for you while management in Nashville and Kurt Angle didn't." Lashley turns and pushes MVP into a wall. He says, "It isn't about you.
It's about me.
Not you, MVP. And it's about me getting my title back." And Kenny's like, whoa, what do you... Oh, never mind. Because Lashley just looks at him.
I'm scared.
Yep.
And then we go to Jeremy Borash.
He leaves, and MVP tells King to follow him, and MVP wishes Lashley luck. Then we had Jeremy Borash in the ring. I've
been here since the beginning.
And I'm standing here on their transition at Destination America, and I'm about to introduce someone very special, but EC3 decides to interrupt. It's like, I am Ethan. When I'm good, I'm very good. Fact. When I have been undefeated for 15 months, fact. And when I say I will become the TNA World Champion in 2015, oh God, baby, that is a fact. Yes, he just ripped off Tyson Kidd there.
Yes, and sadly, I think more people care about EC3 than Tyson, so, you know.
By the way, we actually got some dual chants of, "You can't wrestle." Yes,
he can.
No, yes, he can. You can't wrestle. Yes, he can. You can't wrestle.
I'm very good.
So, and he's sorry, and he says to Jeremy Borash, "I'm sorry to your family who died after I slapped you."
And here comes Rockstar.
Well, actually, Ethan says he wants Rockstar's son to come out here so he can finish him up. He wants to end Spud now. Ethan waits, and he says, "Spud, get out here right now. I can have him out here in a simple snap." Snaps his fingers. Tyrus comes up there, and he's picking up Spud. He has Spud. And Spud tries to fight off Tyrus, but no luck. Tosses him into the ring. Ethan says, you know what? Time for some scalping. And he says scalping or something. He doesn't even say scalp. I know, he doesn't say it. He doesn't say it.
And Borash steps in, which he probably shouldn't have done.
Funny thing is, AC3 has a funny way of saying scalping, like scaping or scoping or something. So Jeremy Borash says, enough's enough. Are you done enough? And Ethan's like, stand down. So Jeremy slaps him in the face, although the cameraman missed this. The dumbass cameraman rather see their feet. But you heard him slap him, and you saw afterwards EC3 holding his face. So Tyrus grabs JB by the neck, tosses him in the corner, does a body slam, and Ethan says
him.
There's been a change of plans.
And they shaved JB's head.
Well, part of it.
And JB is now replaced by Christy Hemme, who had a baby that same day.
Yep.
That's a quick turnaround.
Yep. And I got this baby out. Get me back to work.
But you get maternity leave.
No. I want to work.
I want to make money.
Yeah. You make money on maternity leave. No. I want to actually work. I want to do something.
Oh, go to the back. Get us a coffee. Oh, whoops.
So Kenny King and MVP are backstage. He's like, Lashley, put your hands on you, man. And MVP's like, you know what? I tried to do business with him, but it didn't work out, and says, you know what? This whole situation sucks, but we gotta go somewhere. Gotta take care of some business. So then we see replay of what happened between EC3, Tyrus, Spud, and Borash. And then we get our next. By the way, while this show is going on, we've seen at this point 2 matches between Rude and Lashley. We saw the first one and the second one. And tonight's the third. So Low Key's music comes out. Low plays, and he comes out. And then a video package telling us the story of the X Division. X Division made TNA different. It made them stand out. It is what separated TNA and has become the foundation of TNA. And his opponent, Austin Aries. And this was a good match.
Yes, it was.
So, yes, let me get to that now. We had
Matthews actually brings up the history of Low Key being the first Ring of Honor champion and all that stuff.
Oh, and by the way, he also Taz mentions that he had a podcast and he had Edge as a guest. And Matt Hardy's coming up eventually as a guest.
And MVP.
Yep.
He mentioned that in the first segment, in the first match.
We have a nice counter by Low Key on the turnbuckle. Which is, I'm trying to remember, oh yeah, he gets put in the turnbuckle. Aries tries to run at him and Low Key kicks him and then gives him a stomp for good measure. I think that's what happened. So, then we had a counter to Aries' suicide dive to a kick in the face. But at the end of it all, Austin Aries gets there was a bunch of spots where Aries goes for a brainbuster. Low Key reverses to the bite of the dragon. Aries is able to grab the ropes. Low Key gets Aries up and put him in the top rope. Then he kicks Aries in the head. Goes for a suplex. Aries blocks it. Low Key kicks him in the chest. Aries falls. Low Key stands on the top rope, but Aries does a drop kick to him and he falls and grabs him, hits the brainbuster. New champ.
Yep.
Good match overall.
Yes, it was.
Probably match of the night, in my opinion.
Okay.
The camera is backstage, and we see various knockouts stretching as they get ready, because there's a battle royal for the belt.
Yep.
And then several knockouts are in the ring, and we get boom, boom, boom as the beautiful people come out with DJZ and Jesse Goddard behind them.
And the return of Robbie E.
Yep. Who said, Robbie E's here tonight. And he's like, after one amazing race, wink, wink, chance together, even if you're Havoc, for Robbie E!
Even if you're Havoc.
Robbie E comes out and I'm like, we saw him. We saw him just a few minutes ago. And he's like, I'm back! I didn't win $1 million, but I look like $1 million. Wasn't my fault. It was my ex-girlfriend's fault. It was that amazing loser, Brooke. But I have something worth more. With, Angela, I think it was Velvet Sky he hangs with.
Yeah,
and just then, the music plays and here comes Taryn Terrell's Hot Mess.
Yep. And Taryn wins.
Yep. Well, I have to go through this interruption. So, Rebel is the first knockout eliminated. Madison is next. Then Angelina Love because Jesse Goddard screwed up.
Whoopsie.
Brooke comes out to beat up on Robbie E. And Velvet Sky gets eliminated. Then we have the final three, which are Taryn, Havoc, and Gail Kim.
Why wasn't Brooke in the Battle Royal?
I don't know. I asked the same question.
Does she not count as a knockout?
I don't know. Well, she comes back next week, so I don't know what the hell happened. But anyway, Taryn retains after eliminating Havoc, who eliminated Gail Kim. Havoc attacks her afterwards, lights go out.
Dun,
It's
dun, dun,
awesome
dun.
Kong.
And they have a stare down.
Yep, freaking A. This is the moment of the night where you're like,
Yes.
holy shit, they brought up back Awesome Kong.
Well, Bubba the Love Sponge isn't there anymore, so you know.
Yeah, I guess. I wonder how they convinced her to come back.
They said,
We're sorry, crap happened. Let's start anew.
yep.
So then we had our main event, which was Lashley and Rude.
Not as good as their past two matches.
I think their first match was the best.
Yes.
This one went really screwy at the end.
Yeah, this one is
Because backstage, MVP's got Kenny King got two masks behind them who take out security.
It's the Bashams. No.
Nope. We had a Rude bomb by Lashley, which gets a 2 count. Spear by Rude gets a 2 count. And then here come those MVP and those two masked men. The masked men are Low-Key and Samoa Joe. They're about to attack. Eric Young comes out to save the day, but then he turns heel and attacks Rude.
No! EY! Why?
Why, EY, why?
He'll explain later.
Lashley wins the belt via a screw job.
But he's not even going to end up on the heel team, it doesn't look like, from the spoilers.
Yeah, so all I can say about the screwy finish is I'll have to check next week to explain what the hell happened, but that's the only thing I can say about that.
I think, I'd be fine with this finish if they didn't do all the heel turns all at once.
Yeah.
They should have had maybe Young come out and do the heel turn this week. And maybe even have Rude retain and have Young do the heel turn. That way you set up a contender for Rude.
Yeah.
Because now Lashley's pretty much got nobody. Unless they're going to do the mandatory rematch thing with Rude.
Or they're going to do Lashley turning face. But who would do that?
Yes, and trust him as a talker on the microphone. You call yourself MVP? Well, you're a bastard.
God. Well, overall, this was a good show.
B+.
I'd give it a B+. That swerve kind of soiled it a little bit, but still overall a good show. If you forget the freaking swerve, the mandatory swerve that had to happen, that they kind of spoiled them. Impact saying, we're going 5 minutes over. Trust us, it'll be worth it.
And maybe.
By the way, Dixie was on JR's podcast.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so so that was Impact.
Yes. And they have a one night only, I guess, this weekend.
Oh yeah, tomorrow. They have Victory Road.
Turning Point.
Turning Point. Oh yeah, Turning Point, that's what it is.
From Charlottesville, Virginia.
Oh yeah, so I might have to watch that since I live there.
I'm gonna try to see it. On the card, you have Jeff Hardy MVP in the main. You have Rude versus Storm. You have Aries and Sonata. You have Samoa Joe and Kenny King, which, considering what we just talked about, luckily these shows aren't canon to anything. And then we have Magnus and Eric Young and a 3-way knockouts match plus other stuff. You got anything to sell, Seth?
Well, poll for the 2014 Geno Award is going on. It will end at midnight on Saturday. Actually, directly at midnight, so technically it might be Friday night, then Saturday. And I'm gonna look at the nominees right now, which are A Haunted House 2, Annabelle, Axel the Biggest Little Hero, Devil's Due, Dwagons and Leprechauns, Earth to Echo, Heavenly Sword.
I've heard of two of those so far that you mentioned.
I, Frankenstein. Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return. Leprechaun Origins, which actually may win.
Wait, Dorothy's Return to Oz? What, did you get locked in her mother's basement again?
That film doesn't look like it's going to win, but they bring her back via Rainbow.
Yeah.
Rainbow of teleporting Rainbow.
Again, I'm sure somebody was on drugs while making this.
Yes.
Or writing it.
A Ouija.
What did we tell you about those Ouija boards?
Yep. Paranormal Activity, the marked ones.
I've heard of that.
Sharktopus versus Terracuda. The Co-Ed and the Zombie Stoner.
Dude.
The Legend of Hercules.
Wait, that might be a horrible movie, but not a horror movie.
No, I said a horrible movie. That's what I'm saying. I'm doing horrible movies. The Gene Award is movies with monsters in them.
Ah, okay.
The Nut Job.
I've heard of that one.
The Pyramid.
Maybe.
The Quiet Ones.
Maybe.
Vampire Academy. And
Maybe.
Winter's Tale.
Never heard of that one.
It looks like right now, I'm gonna be doing Leprechaun Origins.
Not the WWE Films one?
Yes! Yes, it looks like I'm gonna be doing that one. And I mentioned this, Hornswoggle's a leprechaun, although you really shouldn't mention him because he's in a bodysuit.
You mean he's not wrestling a midget in WLC?
No! He looks like he's in a suit, he's in a costume that makes him look like a demonic mandrill.
So wait, they turn him into a midget El Gigante.
They turn him into a midget monkey.
Oh, God.
A demonic monkey.
Oh,
midget demonic monkey. It's terrible.
That sounds awful. Just like most WWE film projects.
Yes. Sadly, See No Evil 2 is actually good, so.
I haven't come across that one yet.
I actually saw that one, so, yeah.
Is that with Kane?
Yeah, that's with Kane, and they actually call him Jacob Goodnight in the damn movie.
Is he Kane, is he demon, or is he corporate? Is he the corporate killer?
He's neither one. He's bald-headed and he's wearing some burn mask.
So we're going back to 1997.
Basically. But yeah, do you have anything to sell?
IWE 7-year anniversary this weekend. Fairfield, Maine, featuring Heart Attack Tommy Mack versus Alex Mason, Scott Wilde against Ace Romero, Inked and Awesome versus the Leatherheads, the new Leatherheads actually. The confrontation between the real Primer Inc. and the new and improved Primer Inc.
Wait, the new Leatherheads, are they going to be alligators?
No.
Like mutant alligators like in a Ninja Turtle show?
No. I wish. That might be entertaining. In any event, we also have a MEW Main State title match as we inaugurate that title as Tomahawk battles the selfie-made man, Vern Vaccaro. And neither one of those two men are actually from Maine. Which makes sense if you're going to crown a Main State champion. In any event, the next night in Fairfield and Brewer, we have a 2 out of 3 falls match for the IWE title vacant as Scott Wilde takes on Alex Mason.
Or Abeyance, like Josh Matthews said, Abeyance.
I think he said abeyance.
Abeyance, yeah, that's what he said, abeyance. Which is
abeyance. That sounds like something you get when you go to a fancy restaurant.
No, it's abeyance, my bad.
Anyway, yes. We also have a tag title match with Inked and Awesome taking on the new Primer Incorporated, Joey Primer Crash Landing, as well as I don't think that's in front of me. Eric Johnson against Jivin' Jim Andrews and Callie Capone in the Loser Leagues match, and more. And I think that's it. And I think we'll probably talk to you guys next week. Next Friday, as a matter of fact.
Alright, and Miley, it's time to go for a walk.
Yes.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.